Hi, I'm Sarah from the upcoming. Such a pleasure to be able to speak to you. Maybe if you could just start by introducing yourselves and your role in this project.
My name is Andrew Faure. I'm the producer.
Adam Silver, co-writer and co-producer.
And what was the genesis of this project? You know, how did you first get involved and why did you think this was an important story to tell?
Well, let's start with Adam on this one.
I got started because I knew Matt from another film that he released called Jason Bend. He came to me with an idea. And I said, that sounds incredible, but I want to write it with you if we're going to help you out with production. So, I mean, it came to me as a story formed, and I, helped him write it over about a year. So that's how I came to it.
And then I previously worked with Matt on the film that he just mentioned, Jason Bend. So Matt contacted me after they'd already written the script and said, I'm looking for a producer. I said, send me the script, and that's how I ended up on board.
And for people who don't know anything about the film, can you give us a brief synopsis in your own words? What can they expect?
Well, it's a love story, a forbidden love story, if you want to, within the context of a gay rugby team. And without giving too much away about, because it's a drama, if I say too much, it's just going to give away the story. But it's a beautiful film about love and broken love, essentially.
And community, and about community, and about what it means to be like part of something bigger than yourself, and what it means for that relationship to exist, and the pressures that are put on that relationship as part of that community.
And, there are a lot of sports dramas out there, but actually maybe not that many about rugby. So, what do you think are some of the challenges of shooting a film like this?
I mean, let me tell you, finding enough extras is a challenge. I mean, that was like one of my jobs, one of your jobs. It was like just finding enough people to be there for these big games, these big set pieces. I mean, Matt knew what he was doing, obviously, coming from the world of rugby, but these huge set pieces
the thing
that we had to film on a very small budget.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because LGBT films generally don't have a big budget. So, we're making film on a relatively small budget. Because it's a rugby film, with rugby matches, we're talking about massive set pieces, lots of locations, lots of cast and crew. Doing that on a small budget while still keeping everyone sane is a challenge.
Did we keep everyone sane?
I'm not saying we kept everyone sane, but we managed to pull off a film. So.
And what about the main cast as well? How did you work with the director to land on these particular people, and how did you work with them to make sure that you achieved your vision?
Well, we went through quite an extensive casting process. I think you started the casting days before I got involved, and then we went through a lot of people before we found the people, and then obviously putting the people in the room together to see if they had chemistry. And
what's remarkable, I think, is that how well they worked as a team.
Yeah.
And I mean, the love story the way it works. These two together, they're just magic together. And like, we had so little time to make this film. We had such a small budget, and we got the best. Really feel like I wouldn't change a thing. Got the best people for it. So I don't know. It's like kismet, really. I don't know how we did it. I really don't know how we did it. I never want to do it again. But
No.
It was, it was a lot.
And what do you hope people ultimately take away from watching the film? Because of course, there's like an uplifting love story there, but there is an issue in the sports world of people not being able to come out and not be who they truly are. So do you think that that's something that we need to take more action to try and improve the inclusivity, the tolerance?
I mean, I think a lot of people don't even know that gay sports teams exist. And in theory, gay sports teams shouldn't exist because everyone should be allowed to just be on the same sports team with no discrimination, but that's not the world we live in. And so I think, number one, for us as filmmakers, just letting the world know that these teams exist and that there is an inclusive space for people in this LGBT space. And I mean, we're just touching on rugby, but I'm sure they exist in all different sports because rugby is such a very masculine sport. It can feel very discriminatory to people who, one of our team members played rugby when he was younger, loved the game, but hated the way he was treated. And now he plays for a real gay rugby team, and that's a bit what the film was born of, is this idea that it was based around people who really exist. Yeah.
And, what does it mean to you to have the film playing here at BFI Flare, and what do you think the importance is of festivals like this, kind of providing a platform for queer cinema?
It's an incredible moment for us. It's an incredible festival, as you can see. It's got a great vibe. And it's perfect for this film, It's just a perfect moment. It's a London-based film. We're in the middle of London. We're in one of the great cinemas in London, at one of the great spaces in London. So couldn't be happier.
But also I think having a festival like Flare, there are films here which could relatively easily cross into the, I suppose you could call it, heterosexual film space, but there's a lot of films that never will. And if there wasn't a space for those kinds of films, they wouldn't get seen. So I think it's very important to have this kind of platform. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. Enjoy the evening. It's lovely to chat to you. Thank you.